Hey everybody, how is it going? It is your pal, Sal here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to our Whitney Houston discography journey. Today we are tackling her 5th studio album, which is just called Just Whitney. It's just her, nobody else. We don't have to worry about that. So before we get into the stats, I just want to say a little refresher on My Love Is Your Love, which aired last week. I want to say, I think so far going through the albums, I think My Love Is Your Love is my favorite album so far from Whitney. I just like that there's so many different flavors in it. Like you go to one song, it's one thing, another song, there's another. I think it's great. I will say the title track, which I didn't like at first, has grown on me. At first I listened to the remix and I was like, okay, I like that. And then I went back to the song and I was like, you know what, this is a nice little slow jam here. I'm feeling it. So I'm glad that I finally learned to like it. It seems though I wasn't alone in not liking that song at first, because there was a lot of people that were like, you know what, I don't like that song that much either. So I'm sorry I'm shifting a little, but I did end up liking it after repeat listens. And the remixes of everything from It's Not Right But It's Okay to The Heartbreak Hotel, fabulous. I mean, come on, we know, we love it, it's amazing. So, we're putting that aside and going to Just Whitney today, which again is her 5th studio album. It was released on December 10th of 2002, and it hit number 9 on the Billboard 200. Not so good, and that's very apparent of what everything was going around at this time. So 2002 was not, well, around this time in general, was not a good time for Whitney. The drug use was starting to catch up with her, the bad marriage she was in, everything was just not good. This same year that this comes out is the infamous Crack is Whack interview with Diane Sawyer, which, you know, in looking back on it, watching it, is also really sad, but it also just shows me that Whitney Houston was a very funny woman too. Like, you look at some of the things she says and you're like, I don't know, it makes you laugh sometimes just with the way she responds to some things. Now, granted, I know she wasn't in a good place, but at least at the end of the day, you know, some of it was funny. Some of her responses, I'm like, you know what, that's iconic if you ask me. So, regardless of that, because of all the things going on, the album didn't do as well as it probably should have. There were a total of 4 singles. The first one was Whatchulookinat, which is just one word, okay? It hit number 96. The second single was One of Those Days, which hit number 72. The third single was Try It On My Own, which hit number 84. And the fourth and final single was Love That Man, which hit number 1 on the US Dance Club songs. So this is the first album we're going into with Whitney that I don't know a single one of the songs, which is interesting to me. That I mean, granted none of these were hits, so it's kind of sad, but I'm excited to listen to it. 2002 is an interesting year. I'm excited to see what Whitney can bring in this album. Also, we're trying out a new feature today. So usually lately, since I've done Shakira, I've always had the lyrics up with me. Well, right now I have this up on my Spotify, the web app, like the application, like downloaded onto my computer, not just through Google Chrome. And you can have the option to actually see the lyrics as they come up with the song, which I'm going to try out today and see how I like it. Because usually I have the lyrics up separately on a different page. But we'll see. You never know. So without further ado, we're going to get started with the first track, which is One of Those Days, which was the highest charting single on the Hot 100. Again, One of Those Days. So without further ado, here we go. That little run she did there sounded like $1 Million Bill. Okay, Whitney. Okay. It's been one of those crazy weeks, and I gotta do something special for me. That's right. Manny and a Betty. Okay. I love her. Just want to set my body free. Never another TV. Okay. Mr. Big. I hope that means she's watching Sex and the City. That means a lot to me. Ooh. I like the horns in the back there. You're cruising in your car. nice. Okay. Cruising. That was a lovely low note. Hello, hello. Hello. And the simple things are not wasted. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, so that was the first track, One of Those Days, and I have to say, I am pleasantly surprised and happy with that. What a lovely way to open up your album. What I like too about the cover of this album is that, you know, Whitney's like that. I can't wait to mimic that for the thumbnail, but it gives you that sense of a light, easy breezy feeling, and with the cover especially, and even with this song, I mean, it's just about having one of those days where you just relax, cruise in your car, take a bath, watch the TV. I love this. I loved every second of this. This was gorgeous. It just, easy breezy, beautiful, just Whitney. I love it. Oh my God, that was that should have been a bigger hit. I could have definitely been, you know, I lived in California, which I don't, but I could see my top down. I mean, I don't have to be in California to do that, but I could see driving along the highway with this. It's just one of those days. Aw, Whitney. And you know, it's also sad too, because I was watching, I think it's in the same Diane Sawyer interview where she talks about, Diane's like, what is peace for Whitney, or what is the future for Whitney? And then she's like, retired, having a little fruit stand with my daughter, and you're like, aw. Wow, okay. Lovely, beautiful, should have been a bigger hit. Track number 2, Tell Me No.
So come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Tells me I should. So come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Tell me no, and I'll show you I can. And tell me no, there's something to look for, and I can't wait for the day I can rub things in your face, and I ain't gonna stop till I'm done. I'll reach the top, I'm number one. But every time you try and tell me no, keep on keeping on. Tell me no, and I'll show you I can. And tell me no. So come on, I'm sure I'll prove you wrong. Come on and go. Tell me no.
Interesting, this rock guitar happening here. Okay, that was Tell Me No, and I wasn't as thrilled with this one as I think I wanted to be. I think this subject matter of the media being like, well, this isn't necessarily the media one, but I mean, the people telling her, no, Whitney, you can't do that, or like, you're not, like, this is, no, you can't be doing this, like, this isn't good, and the idea of her being like, well, I'm gonna do it even worse, which, you know, this kind of does, you know, play into, you know, more of her life, which, because, you know, the addiction didn't get better until like 2007, but then we know how things ended up. So I don't know if I'm really as in love with this one as I would like it to be. I think this type of subject matter of persevering when people are against you is done better in songs like, especially in the I Look to You album, like not even I Look to You, what is it? Nothing But Love, or I Didn't Know My Own Strength. I feel like those play into this better. This one just doesn't feel quite right, and the weird guitar thing, the electric guitar at the end, which takes up the last, because it's 3 minutes and 44 seconds, and the whole last 44 seconds is just that guitar, really, and I'm like, that didn't need to go on for as long as it did. Yeah, this song just felt a little underwritten to me. because I don't know. It didn't do much for me. It's a shame because this is one that has a credit from Babyface. But yeah, that's probably not going to be one that I flock back to a whole lot. Track number 3, Things You Say. And apparently this one doesn't have lyrics on Spotify.
It's all mine.
This is kind of giving me Oh Yes vibes.
I feel better knowing you. Ooh, you've got me. Carries me from day to day. I appreciate the things you do. Ooh, but there's one thing I have to tell you, boy. I take your actions, but I love the things you say. Listen to the things you say. Things you say. You're calling me. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh, you're calling me. Oh, oh, oh. Listen to the things you say to me, babe. Easing on this earth, I appreciate the things you do. But there's one thing I have to tell you, boy. I dig your actions, but I love your words.
I dig your actions, but I love your words.
Ooh, you're calling
I'll take
me.
your actions.
Oh, 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 oh. Listen to the things you say. Serenade. Every word that you say makes the day much brighter. Melody that you play, I hear right away, and my heart is lighter. To my heart, boy. Listen to the things you say. To me, baby, a song, a serenade. Things you say.
Things You Say. That was Things You Say, and for some reason, the song was reminding me of Oh Yes from My Love Is Your Love. But if anything, it made me just really wish I was listening to that song, more or less. I think this song was trying to create an atmosphere, like with these things that you say, it's so overwhelming and you just feel that you're stuck in the moment. But considering, you know, and I've kind of let this go in the past ones, but considering, you know, Bobby Brown is so important in this era, especially with how things were ending up, imagining her saying these things about talking about Bobby Brown is kind of like, ugh, to me, especially when she's like, I'll take your actions, but I love the things you say. I just can't imagine Bobby Brown was doing very good actions, nor saying really nice things, or wrapping a poem in a card and serenading it with his heart. And it's a shame, too, because I think that had Bobby not been involved, maybe I would have liked it more. But I still don't think it lives up to the atmosphere it's trying to build with this. I don't know, something wasn't quite sitting right with this one, and I'm just gonna go listen to Oh Yes again. And especially because, too, I think that lyrically they're very different, but I think they're both trying to capture a vibe, and whereas Oh Yes does it, this didn't. Track number 4, we have My Love, which features Bobby Brown. So, Bobby! Let's do it.
Some girls just wanna spend God's money, live their life chasing the milk and honey. Silver lines their every fantasy, but you're lucky 'cause that ain't me.
That ain't her.
Most girls think guys are all the same.
Well,
Not true, so I can't take the blame.
one's over for you and I see my love is deeper than the sea. It's sweeter than a pretty.
Their hearts can't see the light, they're so in the
Oh,
dark.
yeah. But I know I got a real good man who loves me the best he can. That's why I'm here faithfully. Would you do the same for me? Oh, now
Did he, though? Did he?
open sky.
See, my heart is like a
River wide.
like a river.
Take the joy and endure the pain.
Never give in,
Give in.
don't give
Don't
up.
give up.
Think it try, but they never, never bring my love. Before you, I see my love is deeper than the sea.
It's sweeter than a pretty melody.
So tell everybody that you got me. You can trust in my love, my love.
My melody.
See, my love is like an open
L-O-V. Okay, that was My Love, which again features Bobby Brown. And I'm actually shocked about this, but I genuinely enjoyed this piece. I did think Whitney and Bobby actually played off each other really well. I mean, granted, listen, we don't like Bobby Brown. We don't like him. He did lots and 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 lots of bad things. And I hate knowing, everything that he did to this poor woman. But they were in love at some point, and at some points they were in love, obviously. They were married for a very long time, so naturally it would make sense that they had some chemistry together, and they did. I feel like on this song, there's a lot of, I think what really stuck out to me was the production. I thought the production was a lot of fun and really chill, very early 2000s, and I did like that. And they did play off each other really well. Now granted, there are some lyrics that don't make a whole lot of sense, especially when Whitney's like, he's faithful to me, or to me, so I'm faithful to him, and you're like, what was he though? Was he Whitney? So, which is a shame too. Imagine being married to Whitney Houston and being like, not good enough, I'm gonna cheat on her. Like, it's bizarre to me. But regardless, I did think the song was actually nice. And I'm kind of shocked that they didn't want to release it as a single, considering, they were the talk of the town at the time. It could have been interesting, but at least so far after One of Those Days, it's the only song that I've liked, so, which is shocking to me. I didn't think I was going to like this one, but I did. So yeah. Track number 5, Love That Man, which was the 4th single, which was number 1 in the US dance clubs. I'm assuming with a remix. Maybe not, you can dance to this in the club.
Things just ain't the way that they used to be. Back in the day when a man and security working hard all week. Maybe kick back and throw up your feet, let fix your little treat. Say it might be a little bit sweet.
Don't you love that man? What'll I do? What'll I do? That was absolutely lovely, and I definitely can hear how this was a number 1 hit on the dance clubs. I imagine, again, with more of a remix that it hit that, but what's interesting to me is that this song kind of reminds me of Janet Jackson's Slow Love, where it's got like that it's a little more evident in Slow Love, not on this as much, but there's like that little evidence of disco that you can hear in the background that makes you want to, get funky. So I really like that. Now, granted, the lyrics are a little not more of my taste. It's basically saying, you gotta love that, the way that man loves me makes me feel this good. And I'm like, well, you can feel good without that man too, Whitney, I'm just saying. But it's a celebration of the love that she's feeling, and I'm gonna be interested to hear the remixes for this one, because I feel like you could really pump something a little more out of it, but as it is, I think it's great too. So it's nice. I think it was a good choice for a number 1 dance club single, so there's that. Track number 6, Try It On My Own, which was the 3rd single that hit number 84, so not as good. I can see the first lyrics already, which is, I'm wiser now. I'm not that foolish girl. I'm excited to hear this.
I'm stronger now. I've learned from my mistakes which way to go. And I should know. And I am not
That almost sounds like I Will Always Love You right there.
it on my own. I don't care if I'm right or wrong.
Wow. 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 What an absolutely lovely ballad. There are so many things we need to talk about. So first of all, I did find out that for its single release, it was renamed from Try It On My Own to On My Own, because, you know, that just changes everything. But what I did like is that the reviews for it at the time were really, really good. Billboard said that this song, Try It On My Own, is the best song on the disc. I slightly disagree. I would say the first song is the best one so far. A classic Whitney ballad that pushes every diva button, from huge celestial notes to the creamy orchestral arrangement. I agree with that. I think this song was absolutely lovely. Whitney sounded great. Very relatable lyrics. There are two things that one I really like and one that I'm not as in love with. So when you look at this in reflection of, you know, 2022, especially the line, where is it? Where she basically says, "I can't go back to living," and you're like, oh, Whitney, that's gorgeous. Now, the one thing that does make me, and I feel I would be a little mad if I bought this CD in 2002, is that she's saying, you know, she's going to try it on her own, she's going to move on, she's going to get past this bad relationship she's in, but then she's still with Bobby until 2007, so it kind of feels a little fake to me to hear this song, and I'm like, this is such an inspirational piece, and I hope she looked back on it, you know, back in 2007 when she did leave him, but it's like, it's kind of sad because you're like, here you are saying these empowering things that you should believe, and then at the time, she didn't. So it's like, that's a little sad to me because I would like it to be more reflective of her life. But, I mean, this is the most played song on this album. It has, I think, over 10 million plays. So, interesting, but a little sad that I mean, maybe people were, I mean, yeah, if you look at it in 2022 and you think she's leaving Bobby great, in 2002, oh wow, this album is, hey, wait a minute, it's 20, this album is turning 20 years old this year. Oh, that's crazy. Hey, so in December it'll be, wait, what's the exact date it was released again? In December, this album will be 10 years old. That's crazy, insane. Here we are 10 years later, or 20 years later. Wow. But yeah, that's what I have to say. Track number 7 is called Dear John Letter. Here we go. This sounds familiar. I'm writing you a Dear John letter. I tried to stay, but it never got better. I couldn't tell you face to face, but I had to let you. I'm gonna tip again. Some days I'm so in love with you. Some days I'm sad and blue. Oh, when I don't check myself, I get frustrated with you. But got better. I couldn't tell you face to face, but I had to let you know. Sometimes I wanna hit the door. I'm writing you a Dear John letter with you, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know that it's not just you. It's not just you. It's some of my negligence too. I had to let you know. Sometimes I wanna hit the door. I'm writing you, Dear John. I'm writing this letter because it makes me feel better. Go through with it. Oh no no, oh no no. I can't say. I can't go. I'm writing a Dear John letter. I'm writing a Dear John letter. A letter. You hear that? John letter. Okay, that was Dear John Letter, and I'm a little torn with this one because I did like it, so don't get me wrong there, but there's a certain discrepancy in the lyrics that I can't seem to get over. So it's Whitney talking about how bad her relationship is, and so she's writing a Dear John letter to leave this man. But from what I'm gathering in the lyrics, she doesn't leave him, which makes no sense to me. So she takes the time to write this letter. So I'm writing you the Dear John letter, but I always fail to mention because you already, no, wait. So I'm writing you a Dear John letter. I tried to say to stay, but it never got better. I couldn't tell you face to face, but I just had to let you know sometimes I want to hit the door. I'm writing a Dear John letter. Sometimes I think I've had enough. My hands freeze and I can't write fast enough. I want to get away, but I can't obey when my heart speaks. You know I'm listening. Some days I'm really touchy. Some days I'm, oh wait, where is this? I get frustrated with you and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It's some negligence, but I can't. And this is the lyric. I can't go through with mailing this to you. So we're spending all this song talking about how this guy is horrible and doing her so wrong, but time and time again she keeps writing this letter, but she just can't do it. She just can't leave him. And I'm like, no, get out, leave him, goodbye, good riddance, adios. Which is interesting too, because when in the one of the it was the Oprah interview where she's like, for the first time ever, Whitney Houston, and when she's on the Oprah show, and she's like, Whitney, how did you leave Bobby? And Whitney says that she like left one day, got on a plane, and got out. So I mean, in a sense, she did. Well, she never wrote a letter, but it's kind of similar to that. But I can't believe we sit through this. How long is this song? 4 minutes and 33 seconds, and nothing's resolved. Nothing. You know, maybe I make it. I did like the production, so I'll give it that. But we leave exactly where we started off at, and I don't like that. Nothing. Yeah, lyrically, this bothers me. You can't tell me he's this horrible, and then you're just gonna be like, nope, stay in. Wrote the letter, but I'm not sending the letter. No, Whitney. Especially we get better material come later, but yeah, no. I like the production though. That's why it's getting a like. Track number 8, Unashamed. Okay, something a little more mysterious.
Change my mind if I change my faith. Every time I stop like signaled, each time I make mistakes. Another life I lead, unashamed of the strength of my knees, the choices I made, the love that I saved, the things I have done, my belief in the one. Unashamed of the words of my friends. I know who they are, make mistakes, make amends. Follow my instincts, my star on my sleeve, I wear my heart. Unashamed. Still, there's always someone, something to own. Words of my friends. I know who they are, make mistakes, make amends. Follow my instincts, my star on my sleeve. And it's a good, you gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it right.
Lovely Whitney.
Unashamed of the life I lead, unashamed of the strength of my knees, the choices I made, unashamed of the strength of my knees, the choices I made, the love I saved, the things I have done, my belief in the one.
You know, this one wasn't really working for me. We get some nice vocals from Whitney on this, but if I was to say when Whitney Houston would look back on her past, I wouldn't think that the first word that would pop in my head would be unashamed. Not that she feels that she has to be shamed for it, but this isn't the word I would use to talk about her past. She's unashamed of it. I just wouldn't use that word. Like that, I mean, especially like, of the choices I made, I mean, come on. I don't think that you'd be unashamed of that. Of the love that I've saved or the things that I've done and my belief in the one. Now, she shouldn't be ashamed for the, Bobby Brown and, staying with that, but I wouldn't say she should be unashamed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, there's like something in the middle here that would be a better word. I would be more okay with content, like it's in the past, we're moving on, things like that, but she's basically through this whole song, she's saying that everything she's done in her past, she's so proud of it and so good, like happy it happened, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm buying that. I don't know. That to me, it's the vibe I'm getting from this album, especially with all the turmoil in this that she was going through. It's a very defensive album, and sometimes the defense doesn't play off all that well. Track number 9 is called You Light Up My Life, which is a cover of a song by originally, the guy's name was Casey Kissiak. Oh, no, it was a lady, sorry. Casey Kissiak. So here we go. You light up my life. I was hoping it was the Carole King song, but it's not. It's okay.
To sing me his song. So many dreams I kept deep inside me, alone in the dark. But now you've come along, and you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You
Wow, her voice sounds lovely.
my days and fill my nights. Hey, hey, I love you. Never again to be all alone. 'Cause you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days. You give me hope to carry on. You light my days so right. 'Cause you light up my life.
This was a nice cover. It feels a little at odds with the rest of the material on this album, but I couldn't help but thinking that she was probably singing this song to Bobby Christina, which I think is lovely. I think there was a nice vocal performance on this. Again, it feels a little out of place with the more R&B elements that I feel we've gotten on this album, but nice enough. Track number 10, the final track of the album, we have Whatchulookinat, which again is one word, which I just love. So here we go.
Time for you to strike back.
And I do know that this song is about her, like, in the media. I was told that. What you looking at? What you looking at?
See, I don't understand why you keep peeping me when you don't even like me. You're after me and my man. Don't think you're stressing me.
Don't you think you're stressing me?
Your lies don't excite me. No, no, no. 'Cause I'm still going easy.
What you looking at?
A witness name, no, no. Never thought, never knew you would do this to me. Try to ruin me, be my enemy. I feel your eyes, and it's all lies. Oh me, don't get mad, still going. My reputation ain't even got no
Education. Oh my god. She's coming for them. That's hilarious. What you looking at? Look at yourself. Okay. Oh, no, don't play another song. No, it was about to play Hold Me, which I find funny because that's like one of my top listened songs so far this year. That was What You Looking At, and I liked it. I really did. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it makes a really good lead single, that's for sure. It's a shame it didn't hit higher because it's fun. It's interesting always to hear when people, like, this is the main song that is about being, in the spotlight on the media. I think Whitney was having fun with it. It is really sad when you look back on, how the press was treating Whitney and like the things that they were saying. But it's also sad too, knowing that a lot of it was true, which I know a lot of it wasn't, but a lot of it also was. And I feel that when you are a celebrity, I'm sorry, but that is just a thing that comes with being a celebrity. Your name is going to be in the tabloids all over. If you can't handle that, then it's like, what are you doing here? No, I don't think you should be evil or like specifically like horrifyingly mean, but they were tough on Whitney. I'll give her that. So again, some false, some very true. But I think it was fun, and I think Whitney was having a good time singing this song. I mean, it must have been tough, but I mean, there were some funny things, because I mean, she says, where was this funny lyric? See, I don't understand why you keep peeping at me when you don't even like me. That's true. A lot of the press wasn't even like, it's one thing if it'd be like, Whitney is in a horrible condition, what can we do to help? But it was no, like, Whitney's in a horrible condition, Whitney's 10 days from death, you know, things like that. You're after me and my man. And I'm kind of like, well, that might be a little point where the press was, you know, like, maybe we should not be, maybe you shouldn't be married to Bobby Brown. I'm just saying. Don't you think you're stressing me because your lies don't excite me? I think that there were a lot of fun elements to the song, and overall I enjoyed listening to it. I think you can kind of take it as half and half. You're like, okay, Whitney, they weren't fair to you, but also at the same time, you look back at the press things, and it wasn't exactly like they were always in the wrong. You know, it's hard to say. Okay, guys, we just finished listening to Whitney Houston's 5th studio album, Just Whitney, and I do have to say, this is the first album that we've sat through where I am kind of immensely disappointed in the material that I was just presented. Listen, this was a tough time for Whitney. The early 2000s were not her best time, and I think that the material on this album is just not that good. I don't feel like she was handed too many good songs. It doesn't seem to be interested in talking about not the military. I don't know why I was going to say that. In talking about the world and how they saw her, it just feels like it's a defensive album. Like she has to defend herself. And I get that notion of wanting to defend yourself, but a lot of this material doesn't explore the concept of what was going on. I feel it's just all in the defensive, and there's no talk about it, if you will. It's a real shame, too, especially after My Love Is Your Love, which I would consider my favorite album I've heard so far, not counting I Look to You. I just don't feel anything was presented to me here that I really enjoyed. I do think the best song is the lead track of the first track, One of Those Days. I think that Whitney was having so much fun on it. I think it was an absolute celebration. I liked it. It was a chill song. But then we have songs like Tell Me No, Things You Say, which weren't really doing it for me. Weirdly enough, again, I did enjoy the Bobby Brown song, which I was not expecting. Lyrics don't make a whole lot of sense, but they had good chemistry in their singing together, so I'll give it that. Love That Man, Try It On My Own. You know, Try It On My Own was the ballad, right? No, Try It On My Own was the ballad that would be more reflective and more honest, you know, come 2007 years later. Dear John Letter, again, doesn't resolve anything. Unashamed doesn't, again, Whitney shouldn't be, I mean, granted, you know, if she's up, you know, in the heavens right now, I don't think she should look back and be ashamed of what she's done, but I wouldn't also say the word unashamed should be used either. I don't know. You Light Up My Life was a nice cover, and Whatchulookinat was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it, but I think at the end of the day, this album is pretty forgettable. I think at the end of the day, the best songs you can take out of it are One of Those Days, Whatchulookinat, You Light Up My Life was fine, Try It On My Own, and then the one song, what was that, Love That Man, which was the big dance hit. So I think those are the ones you could take away, but this isn't an album I'm going to be flocking back to, and this is a shame. Yeah, so Just Whitney just really didn't do it for me. So what do you guys think of this album? Let me know in the comments below. As always, do not forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at SalvadorJRocha, Twitter at SalSaysStuff, and TikTok at SalRocha1. And I will see you guys tomorrow when we wrap up the journey. We got Nothing But Love for I Look to You, which again is on my wall. I'm not going to move right now. You know it's back there. It's behind me. But I'm excited to talk about that album tomorrow and just experience it with you guys. I can tell you a great step up from this piece that we just listened to. So that's where I'm going to leave it. So, again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Yeah, what can we end on? As always, you guys light up my life. And if you ever decide to write a Dear John letter, go through and write it. That's all I got to say. This has been one of those days. Have a great day. Bye.